The night is full of storms, lightning and thunder everywhere. The mountains themselves feel like they're shaking. She came from the east, a healer, seeking to tame a bit of the wild. A fire radiates, a warmth of soul is obvious from her eyes. The air is absolutely charged, feeling thick and heavy. It's almost hard to breathe. Whilst traveling with her caravan, she wonders to herself, although free from the corruption of her native land, she still doesn't feel safe. The roads between the fortified cities of the Freemen are dangerous. Raiders from across all lands converge to try to steal the wealth of this untamed land. An eerie darkness takes the night, except for the brief reprieve of the immense storm that almost seems alive. All is blanketed in darkness once more. The only safety is in the great port city. She must get there before nightfall. The storm rages on with such intensity that the mountains themselves feel like they're shaking. It's impossible to carry on, even though she is almost there. The light of the city can be seen in the distance, a brilliant shimmering light, a beacon of hope. This forest feels old, the ground carries many woes, and the trees sing to the wind. They'll have to make camp at the next clearing. Surely the town lord will send more men-at-arms to seek her caravan out. The journey has been long, and they have lost many to sickness and raiders. Those who protect her are brave, but too few to repel an attack of any significance. The autumn air cools as the sun finally sets and darkness looms. It's time to camp and prepare for the night. Thank the Lord they have made it this far. One more day, and they'll be within the city walls. She can only hope that they make it through the night. As they sit by the fire, she adds tea leaves to the water they have boiled. She then opens a small wooden chest that holds an assortment of dried herbs that she collected from her journey. She places a few in a small mortar and begins to grind them into a paste that can numb pain. The men all carry wounds that fester. It's all she can do to keep it at bay until they can rest and she can treat them properly. A scream pierces the night. It's one of the guards. She reaches for her dagger and runs towards the noise. As she rounds the corner, she is met with a sight that makes her blood run cold. There before her are raiders. They have breached their defenses and are slaughtering everyone in sight. In the blink of an eye, the mighty Valdurian cleaves a raider almost in two as they take notice of her. He knows that they're hopelessly outnumbered and shouts for her to hide. If this were to be his death, the price of it will be paid in oceans of blood. Valdurian lets out a war cry. The words sound as if they were spoken by the storm itself. His men beckon to the great call, and as she turns her back to them and starts running into the thick woods, she can hear the screams of those who stand in his fury. Valdurian and his men will make a great stand, but they're too few. The sounds have ceased, and the raiders cheer. The mighty Valdurian must have been felled. Lightning strikes the great mountain with such intensity that the thunder shakes the very ground. Looking for a place of refuge, she takes a moment to take in her surroundings. The mountain is sparse, spare a few ash trees, populated by some ravens. The skies have illuminated most of the mountain, except for an area where the darkness lingers. Perhaps it's the mouth of a cave, death or a fate. Far worse, from the sounds of shouting, it's quickly tracking her down. As she makes her way to the cave, a thought passes her mind that it might be inhabited by a sleeping bear, but better to be mauled by the animal than the raiders. At least it will be quick. As she nears the entrance, she's unable to see inside, a heavy mist seeping out. Pushing through the entrance, using her hand on the wall to guide her deeper in. The cave is incredibly cold and damp. She can hear rushing water ahead. She can still hear voices behind her and the faint light of a torch. The voices carry off the walls. She cannot tell how close they are. The mist has turned to water, and she can feel the spray of a waterfall. The walls of the cave have ended. She can only feel the air in front of her and the rush of the mountain's unnaturally cold water. Closer and closer, she can see the mist grow brighter, and perhaps shadows of men on the walls. Slowly, with her feet, she feels what's a ledge in front of her. She can hear the water crashing below, but she can't tell how far down it is. As the light creeps closer and closer, the falls come to sight as a great wall in front of her, coming from further up than she can see. Labored breath echoing off the walls, boots falling heavy on the stone, and chainmail chiming like bells to her death. Her heart grows heavy. It feels like an anchor sinking in her chest, to come from home on a mission of mercy to being chased to her death. Shadows come to form, and the raiders are but a few paces behind, a torch in one hand and a sword in the other. They have found her, and now they will take their revenge. Every ounce of courage she can muster, she steps off the edge and onto the tiny rock face. Slowly but surely, she makes her way across, dodging falling water and slippery stones. The roar of the waterfall is deafening, drowning out the sounds of the raiders behind her. As she reaches the other side, she looks back to see the old man has vanished, leaving her to wonder if he was real or a figment of her desperate imagination. As she approaches the light, she realizes that she has stumbled upon a hidden chamber within the mountain. The marble walls are etched with ancient symbols, and the flickering light emanates from a small fire pit in the center of the room. The air is warmer here, providing a much-needed respite from the biting cold of the cave. Exhausted and still shaking from her harrowing escape, she collapses near the fire, allowing its warmth to envelop her. Her thoughts drift back to Valdurian and his men, wondering if any of them had survived the brutal onslaught. She mourns their loss, but knows that she must press on, for their sacrifice cannot be in vain. As she rests, she examines the symbols on the walls more closely. They seem to tell a story of an ancient people who sought refuge in this very chamber, guided by a mysterious guardian. She wonders if the old man who had helped her was the same guardian from the legends watching over this sacred place. Painted on the walls depicts a man surrounded by lighting, fighting in a mighty war. Another depicts a titan chained to a mountain. Another is a man that is cloaked with one eye followed by ravens heading into a cave. On the walls there are paintings that show different scenes. One of them portrays a man battling in a fierce war with lightning around him. Another painting portrays a titan who's chained to a mountain. The third painting depicts a man wearing a cloak and having only one eye, followed by ravens, and entering a cave. Another wall had an inscription carved into the marble, and it read, "In the shadow of the mighty Mount Caucasus, where the weight of my eternal punishment bears down upon me, I, Prometheus, Titan of forethought, have carved my final plea to you, the children of Earth. With the last of my strength, I leave you these words engraved in stone, that they may endure through the ages. O humanity, my beloved creation, I have defied the gods themselves to gift you the sacred flame that sparked your evolution. You have the fire that forged your civilization and illuminated the darkest corners of your world. Yet, as I suffer the torment of Zeus's wrath, I fear that my sacrifice will be forgotten, and the lessons of my torment lost to the sands of time. Remember, always, the price of the fire that burns within you, the fire of knowledge, ingenuity, and ambition, for it is both a blessing and a curse, capable of forging greatness or sowing destruction. Do not let the spark I bestowed upon you be wielded for cruelty, greed, or malice. Instead, use it to forge a world of unity, compassion, and wisdom, a world worthy of the immense potential I saw in you when I molded you from clay. I hid my last gift to you, my son, Philopyros, I fell in love with a mortal woman and hid him from Zeus's anger. He carries the eternal flame, but is also mortal like his mother. He is hidden in a frozen tomb inside a mountain. This gift represents my love for humanity and will preserve its essence. If you find and awaken him, he will be released from eternal sleep. May these words echo through the ages, and may the fire I gifted you never be extinguished. Let it light your way, fuel your dreams, and unite you in the eternal pursuit of wisdom. In love and suffering, Prometheus, the bringer of fire. The words of Prometheus echo through the chamber, and she realizes she has stumbled upon a place of great significance. The ancient symbols and paintings on the walls seem to tell a tale of divine intervention, battles, and the enduring flame of knowledge. As she reads the inscription, she feels a renewed sense of purpose. The fire within her, sparked by her healing abilities, resonates with the sacred flame Prometheus speaks of. She understands the weight of the knowledge bestowed upon her and the responsibility it carries. In the dim light of the chamber, she decides to explore further, guided by the flickering flames. The cave opens into a larger chamber, revealing a frozen tomb embedded within the mountain. The air is cold, and the eerie silence is broken only by the distant echoes of the raiders in pursuit. Approaching the frozen tomb, she discovers an inscription that reads, Philippiros, the keeper of the eternal flame. A surge of realization hits her. This must be the son of Prometheus, hidden away for centuries. The responsibility to protect and awaken him now falls upon her shoulders. She kneels before the tomb, her hands gently resting on the icy surface. The storm outside intensifies, matching the turmoil within her. With determination in her eyes, she vows to honor Prometheus' sacrifice and carry forth the legacy of the eternal flame. As she contemplates the next steps, the chamber begins to resonate with a low hum. The symbols on the walls seem to shimmer, responding to her connection with the flame. The air itself feels charged, as if the very mountain is awakening. The raiders draw nearer, their shouts echoing through the cave. The time for hiding has passed. She must face them and protect the ancient legacy she has uncovered. With a deep breath, she stands, ready to confront the storm, both within and outside the mountain. The echoes of Prometheus' words guide her, and the flickering flame becomes a beacon of hope in the darkness. The healer, now a guardian of ancient knowledge, prepares to face the challenges that lie ahead, for the flame of wisdom must be preserved against the raging tempest of chaos. As she stands before the frozen tomb, a whisper of wind dances through the chamber, and a figure materializes from the shadows. It's the old man who guided her through the storm, his single eye gleaming with wisdom. Odin, the All-Father, reveals himself as the orchestrator of the storms that have both guided and protected her. You have found the sacred chamber, chosen one. Odin's voice reverberates through the cavern. Prometheus's legacy is in your hands, and the flame within you resonates with the eternal fire. He extends his hand, and a shimmering light envelops her. The storm outside rages on, but within this sacred space, a protective aura shields them from harm. The raiders draw near, and your path is fraught with challenges. Odin continues, but fear not, for I shall lend you my strength. The storm, a reflection of my power, shall be your ally against those who seek to extinguish the flame. With a gesture, Odin's staff summons forth the power of the storm. Lightning crackles around her, and a gust of wind sweeps through the chamber. The symbols on the walls seem to come alive, pulsating with energy. As she steps out into the storm once more, she feels a newfound connection with the elements. The winds guide her steps, and lightning illuminates the path ahead. The raiders, now mere shadows in the tempest, hesitate as the forces of nature align with the guardian of the eternal flame. A fierce battle ensues, the storm and her newfound abilities combining to thwart the raiders' advance. Odin's presence is felt in every gust of wind and every lightning strike, a testament to the ancient alliance between gods and mortals. In the midst of the chaos, she catches glimpses of Valdurian and his men, miraculously surviving the initial onslaught. The flames of their determination burn brightly, and with a nod from Odin, they join the fight. The raiders, now faced with both mortal and divine forces, retreat into the darkness. The storm gradually subsides, leaving the night air calm and the city lights in the distance shimmering through the dissipating clouds. Odin, his one eye fixed upon her, nods in approval. You have proven yourself keeper of the flame. Continue your journey, for the port city awaits, and the legacy of Prometheus must be preserved. With those words, Odin fades into the shadows, leaving her standing amidst the aftermath of the storm. The air is crisp, and the echoes of the battle linger in the mountainous silence. As she looks to the horizon, the city lights beckon, and the flame within her burns brighter than ever. The healer, now blessed by both Prometheus and Odin, moves forward with purpose, carrying the weight of ancient knowledge and the responsibility to shape a world guided by the eternal flame. As she places her hands on the icy surface of the tomb, a profound connection is forged. The flame within responds to her touch, and a warmth spreads through her entire being. It's not a rebirth of an individual named Philopyros, but the awakening of a legacy, a gift left by Prometheus that transcends generations. The ancient symbols on the walls seem to dance with the realization of this new chapter. The inscription, once a guide for a specific individual, now transforms into a pledge for her bloodline. The eternal flame, a divine essence, melds with her very essence, becoming a part of her and the future generations she will bring into the world. As she steps out of the hidden chamber, the storm has subsided, and a serene night envelops the mountain. The air carries a sense of destiny, and the city lights in the distance flicker with anticipation. Guided by the flame within her, she moves forward, knowing that her bloodline is now intertwined with the eternal fire. The legacy of Prometheus lives on in the very essence of her being, and as she carries this divine gift, each child born into her lineage will bear the flame, a symbol of knowledge, resilience, and the enduring spirit of humanity. The city gates open before her, and the people within, unaware of the divine connection, feel a subtle shift in the air. The healer, now a keeper of the flame, walks forward with a quiet determination. The legacy she carries is not just for herself, but for the countless generations that will follow, a flame that will illuminate the path of her descendants through the ages.